want to tell you a little bit about this hunt before you watch it. So I scouted pretty much for 7 days in there where I killed this deer and other places. And I probably went to 6 or 7 different areas looking. I found a lot of good sign, a lot of feed sign, but hardly any buck sign. This is the place where I found the buck sign, but the problem was the scrapes were in a place where I didn't think I could kill a buck in daylight hours. And from where I thought the deer were actually staying in there, I didn't think they would actually get to those scrapes in the daylight. So dropped off even further in there and went on around and got on a break where there was a couple benches with a little point between them. And you could tell there were some trees down on that hillside, and you could tell where several deer had been coming up out of there and going around those trees in one certain spot. And then it topped out right there where I was at. And I put a scrape right there. I put a mock scrape in. 3 days later, I had 2 bucks in it. Didn't put any scent in it at all. But once I had bucks using it, other bucks started using it. I ended up having, from the time me and Lane went in there and hung the stand, I had to have him hang the stand for me because my rotator cuff surgery, I couldn't do it. But he hung the stand, and when we went in there that day, and from then until Saturday evening, when I went in there, early Saturday evening, there had been 4 different bucks work that scrape that came up out of there. So I was definitely in the right spot, and I put the scrape in the right spot. So it worked out. It's a 100% public land hunt. Hope you enjoy it. All right, I got one shot. It's the first time I've hunted this area. There's been a lot of hunting pressure in here, but this is where I found buck sign, so this is where I'm going. It's absolutely insane how bad these mosquitoes are in here. Alright, I'm gonna make this one quick. I just got in here. It was a challenge getting in here. I've had rotator cuff surgery on this right shoulder, and it's painful still. But I was able to get in this tree and get in here. It wasn't easy, but I'm in. The mosquitoes are probably worse than I've ever seen them. They attacked me coming all the way in, and they're still on me now. Got Thermacell going. Got a couple bucks in here. One's an 8, one's a 10. They're hanging over on this side of the mountain, on this side of the ridge. There's a big mountain out here. There's a long ridge that runs out here to the left, and they're on the back side of this where it's really steep up in this canyon. When I got them on camera the other day, that's exactly where they were coming from, that same direction. So did get a daylight picture of them, and they did work the scrape that I basically put in right here. So I'm gonna get in here and shut this camera off and sit down and listen, because it's so dry right now. I think I can hear one coming from probably at least 100, maybe a little bit further yards. I tried to really slip in here quiet in case they are bedded no further than that. But I think they're probably on around. They could even be down on the next level right here, because there's a little point that runs off, intersects a bench down here where it's real steep. There's mostly red oak, black oak down there. Most of the white oak are up here. I've got black oak and red all around me right here. Anyway, I'm gonna get this thing shut off. Get ready. Get this camera ready. See if I can kill one of these bugs. these bucks on camera about 3 days ago, and they came up out of this rough right here around the hill because I had pictures of them coming to the camera. I had it like on a 10-15 second interval, and I had the 8 point and I had the 10 point working their way up through here, and they worked their way all the way up to this scrape that I made. There was 2 scrapes up on the hill that were fresh about 3 days before I came in here and hung the camera, but there wasn't one down here. Anyway, I put one in down here because I knew this is where those deer would be traveling, and it was, for sure was, because that thing came straight from this way, right where this rough canyon is, and came right around the break and started to go up a little bit, and then all of a sudden he started angling back down, and I kept hearing him, and it sounded like a squirrel. I couldn't tell if it was a squirrel or a deer there a couple times. I knew when I first heard it, it was a deer, but I didn't know if it'd been on up the hill. Anyway, I heard something below me. It ended up being a squirrel, and then I just kept listening and wasn't hearing anything, no movement at all. That thing must have stood in one place for like 8 minutes, and then finally I heard him start walking again, and then I knew for sure he was working his way towards me. He was coming left, and I've got a bunch of thick stuff right here, and my sticks are going up. I couldn't shoot this dang crossbow right there for my sticks, so that was blocking me. And I had all this brush right here, and he was heading down that way. He was going to probably get back down there a little ways down that hill. But anyway, I had that one shot, and he came through that one opening, and I shot him before he got in this thick stuff. And he took off running pretty much right back the way he come from, angling around that hill, and he went a little bit lower than he came up, but he headed right back the direction he came from. I don't know about the shot. He was quartering to slightly, and I wanted to get in there and try to catch part of that windpipe and get the front part of the lungs. I don't know if I did or not. When he ran over the hill here, I watched him crash once, and then he got back up, and his tail was moving just real fast, wiggling back and forth, and that's usually a good sign. But with these crossbows, you just don't get hardly any penetration at all. If that would have been my compound, it would have went plumb through and probably poked out the other side. But I hate to try to track that thing, not knowing. I mean, from what I saw when he went down the hill, that looked pretty good. I saw him roll there once, and then he got back up on his feet, and he was just standing there with his tail just wiggling back and forth, just like that right there. That's usually a good sign. Like I said, I ain't had with a crossbow in a long time. This little crossbow, it's just a little recurve, so I don't know, we'll see. Get down, might look for blood just right there, and then see what I can find. If I don't find what I'm gonna find, I'll always come back tonight or tomorrow. I hear something walking out here blowing. I think I got another deer coming around this hill right here below me. There's my little arrow right there. Yeah. It's hard to tell just how far it went in, but it looks like it went in deep enough. Broke one of the blades off. Little Walmart special right there. I'll go ahead and I'm gonna stick that in the ground right there. Right there's my arrow glowing. I decided to go there where he kicked the arrow out, and then kind of peek over the hill. Had pretty good blood on the arrow, so I kind of walked around here a little ways and peeked over, and he was laying here right off of this steep. I think that's the first time I've killed one that has got that much velvet still on his horn. Not too bad for a cripple. Barely can get in and out of a tree. That is not the buck though that I came in here to shoot. I came in here to shoot a different one, but the one I came in here to shoot is framed up just about exactly like that one right there. Well, that velvet's pretty neat right there. I'm gonna keep that on there. I'm gonna keep that velvet on there. That's an early season deer right there. About as early season as you can get. I hadn't been hunting, I've mainly been scouting because I had to set that tree up just right before I could get in it. On my shoulder the way it is. So I got Lane back now. I'm gonna eat me some dinner, some pork chops. Then we're gonna go in there after that dude. He was hanging out a little bit late. It's 9 o'clock now, so it may be 11:30, 12 o'clock before we get out tonight. Back at it. Get these boots back on. Go get this deer. All right.
Let's go get this sucker.
You look. You look.
I'm so tired. I've been up since 3.
All right.
I don't want that velvet.
Well, hold on. Let me. That there's the hole. I'll look at it real quick. Shot him right in front of that shoulder and then went right back into the lungs. Phew. There's that old moon. Stop here and take us a little break. Stop here and take us a little break. Alright. Made her back. I just gotta get him in the truck.